I'm good. I'm good.
Can you tell us more about the song?
Okay. The song Blessings was written by a female by the name of Laura Story. And the first time I heard it, I'll never forget, I was along, because I used to drive out on my own, and every Monday was my day. So I would go all the way to Tagaytay to have a late merienda. So I went, and then when I go out for those moments, it's just me on my own. You know, I think, I write music, I text friends I haven't texted in a while, I pray and all that. And on the way home, I randomly lang, I just said, what's up with the latest inspirational music? And that was the song I heard. And I had to pull over because my tears just started to flow. And not many songs really do that with me, but that did. So I pulled over and I said, wow. And then I started making other people hear. And the same reaction. They're like, what? Sino to? I said, her name is Laura Story. You mean that's her story? No, her name is Laura Story. And that's it, Blessings. So I remember performing it once in 2018, 2019. It was right after my whole ordeal, and I did a show in BGC for New Year's, and I did that song, but as a soloist. But I like it the way it is now. It's a duet between two guys. Exactly. This is how I would have really wanted to do it.
What's the message of the song that really resonated with you?
Kasi when you talk about blessings, it always usually brings a smile, diba, to people's faces. Now, how's your son? He's such a blessing. How are your studies? Sir Gary, I was so blessed. How is work? Sir, I was blessed. I have a wonderful boss. I have wonderful people. I have wonderful friends. But then there's also the blessings that don't come that way, where it could be through a loss, or through a breaking moment, or even through rejection. That you only get to see the blessing behind it later on.
Blessings in disguise.
Blessing. That's it. That's really what it is. It's blessings in disguise. What might seem to be really bad may actually be a blessing in disguise. That's really what resonated with me. What if our blessings come through raindrops? What if our healing comes through tears? What if 1,000 sleepless nights are what it takes to know you're near? Those statements carry a lot of what people are really crying from within. And so I must say, with the name of the song being Blessings, I'm really, really blessed that I've been given a chance to do this song. Like what happened with Warriors as well. I just wanted to sing lang naman the song live. Hindi ko pala alam na naging favorite song pala ni Rico yan, di ba? Then it took off. This one, when RJ and I do it, you can hear a pin drop. Everybody, and some people bring out their phones, but after the first few lines, people just put it down and they just listen to what the song is saying. And so it's tumatagos kahit pa paano. Yeah.
Baka kay RJ ka nakapag-duet?
RJ for me.
Give me a sec, sorry guys.
Yeah. Sure, no problem. RJ kasi is someone I truly believe in, as an artist and as a person. He has wala kaere-ere. He's down to earth, and his father is also very close to us. So when the opportunity came up that, what if he does a collaboration with a seasoned artist? Gary, you wanna do one? I said, yeah, why not? What song do we do? There was no mention of Blessings yet. I actually cannot recall who came up with the idea that we would do Blessings. But when they finally told me, what if we make Blessings a duet? I said, can Mon Faustino arrange it? And when I gave it to Mon said, yeah, I'll do. Pati vocal arrangements ginawa ni Mon. And this is the result.
Sir Gary, was it easy acquiring the song, and did you get to meet Laura?
No, we had a little difficulty reaching her. Communicating, when they started communicating, everything was okay. But I don't know if maybe, I don't know, but maybe she's building a family or ano, but it was hard to track her down. Because we, of course, there are legalities, and we tried to track them down, and that took a little time. But once they responded and they said, yeah, sure, why not? Okay, let's go for it. Saka sarap kasi with, you're hearing it come together. I recorded some of my parts and then I said, you know what? I'm gonna have to do this again, but I want it when the voice of RJ is there, because it really feels like we're doing a duet.
Do you have a favorite line or a line that hits you?
Yes, it's the last few lines. What if trials of this life? Then my life. His is what if trials of this life? Then mine is the rains, the storms, the darkest nights are your mercies in disguise. That's not easy for me to sing live. Nobody sees it, nobody notices it, pero it's because even I go through darkest nights. I go through rains and storms in my life, but then they are mercies in disguise.
If you can share po, ano po yung mga naging experience niya while recording? Since yung lines niya sobrang pwedeng makatagos talaga sa puso. So sa inyo ba, nagkaroon kayo ng challenge while kinakanta niyo siya? May mga experiences?
Not while I was recording, but I mean, I think you all know about my health condition, and that's a daily thing. And sometimes it's okay, and sometimes it's not. Even no matter how much I control what I eat, sometimes there are just days na wala talaga. It just doesn't work. And I was just reflecting on those moments that I had. Plus, I'm very active in responding to my fans, especially on IG, not on Facebook. I have a Facebook account. I took the warning of my son 10 years ago when he says, Dad, if you get into Facebook, you won't do anything else except that. Be careful. I said, okay, no more naman. So I kept away from it. But IG, I know it's not the number one thing that people go, which is good for me, because then I'm not flooded, with the task to answer everyone. But because it's not too many that come my way, it's not a task. It's my effort to bless people. Sometimes I say, I just put a heart. I just respond with a heart, and then they respond, hala, nag-respond po kayo, wow, grabe. And then they tell me about their whole life story, and I'm reading it, and then I respond. I respond accordingly. Hey, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be fine. Give my best to your mom, your dad. Thank you for the story of your Lola. God bless you. But that's it. I was reflecting on their stories. There's a young girl, 17 years old, whose parents abuse her, say that sana mamatay ka na lang. Ganun. And of course I have to be careful because I have to be very careful with what I say, but I also forward some of the ones who are really, really desperate for help. I forward them to professionals who can really, really help them out. And I'm very straightforward. But those are the ones I reflect on. Kasi wala silang, they don't have anybody. A 17-year-old, thinking about ending it all, and I'm there, hey, just don't, Yeah, the rains, the storms, the darkest nights are your mercies in disguise.
How are you these days, health-wise?
I'm sorry?
Yung health mo ngayon. Dapat,
My health is fine, actually. A lot of people ask me that because they know what took place in December.
Yes.
But I'm really okay now. I did PGT last night. I did I did Hatang na. I'm getting ready for Joseph the Dreamer. I'm leaving for Australia in August. I'm leaving for the US in October. And that's for a tour. Then when I come back, I might take a sabbatical in January and Feb. But it's not a sabbatical where I go traveling and rest. It's really to start writing music again, and maybe come up with a new EP. A new EP, 5 or 6 songs na just come up with something new. I'm excited about that because I haven't done that in a while.
Sir Gary, ano nafe-feel mo kapag sinasabi ng fans mo yung blessing ka sa kanila or blessing yung songs?
it's the best comment that anyone can ever receive. Because you know that you're entering the ears of people, and then it's settling here. You know, it's not settling here. It's really settling in people's hearts. And when they say, "Alam mo, sir, blessing yung song," you can't imagine the stories that go beyond that. I'll give you one story. You know, Gary, when I saw you in the Music Museum, the one that I did the series in 2023 and 24, alam mo, yung kinanta mo yung kantang Gaya ng Dati, I remember my ex-boyfriend would take me to your concerts, and he would always tell me, "Liz, I hope Gary sings the song." Pero sir, minsan hindi mo kinakanta. Pero minsan kinakanta mo rin, pero kasama sa medley. So hindi ko naririnig yung kabuuan ng kanta. Sir, at that time, this was 2008, 2007. Sir, he was battling cancer. Namatay po siya. Kinanta mo yung buong kanta sa... me and my friends, we watched you at Music Museum, and you sang that song in its entirety. That was the word. So that really blessed me. That for me is equivalent to getting an award for a music award giving body. Kasi these are awards that come up. These are awards na very personal that they share with you. And that means a lot to me. That means somehow, even if I don't have any new songs as of yet, the songs are still creating an impact. And the impacts are beyond what I ever thought. Of course, there are the hataw na, "Sir, lagi namin kinakanta yan. Sir, tita ko, inaano. Sir, lola ko, inaano yan." Good. But the ones that really say, "Wow, grabe, sir, you're the reason why I'm in the work that I'm in. You're the reason why I'm doing this now. Sir, you're the reason why I came back to be back with my parents." And all that. Because that song, yung isang kanta na, may mga kanta nga na hindi nga inspirational lang dating, pero it creates something pa rin. Okay. It's good to, it feels, I'm honored to play that role. You know, I'm sure there are many artists that receive messages like that, but I take it to heart.
Tapos kailan ba po dumating sa point na hindi na nagmamatter yung material blessings?
That's a struggle I still have, you know, because
They
there are
still
some.
matter po.
I'm sorry.
They still matter yung material.
The material things for me are not clothes or car or what. It's instruments. It's gadgets that I can use to further become better at what I do. But even that, I'm being dealt with because maybe I don't need anymore. Because I have so many instruments at home. Tapos nakaupo lang ako minsan sa music room na parang, "Oh, so, andyan na lahat, Gar. So, ano gagawin mo ngayon?" Ay, wala pa akong nagagawang kantang bago. Dapat, marami na dapat at this point. But that's why I'm taking that break in January and Feb. I'm gonna spend time there. I need to get that spark. Yeah.
Sir Gary, there are a lot of people who don't believe in blessings.
Yeah.
The concept itself. Pero how do you define that to the writers who don't believe it?
Well, the biggest blessings for me are when you get the things you absolutely do not deserve. A blessing is something that is unearned, unmerited, and I think that's what it is for me. I look at it that way because I see my life compared to what I've been given, and I know that there are many things I do not deserve that I have been given. I mean, let's go as recent as excuse me, this thing is beeping myself. Let's go as recent as being the judge of Idol Kids Philippines. I mean, how easy for them to get another judge, but they got me again. And then every time I get to go on tour, you know, if I was doing it, if this was like my 5th year or 6th year in the industry, okay, it's my 41st year, and still, so I'm like, oh, why am I given this opportunity when there are so many others out there? That for me is a blessing. And even if people don't believe, if some people don't believe in blessings, the one who gives the blessings, his love is so unconditional and so sacrificial that he will exhaust all efforts until that one person who doesn't believe actually believes, or gets torn between, wait, I never used to believe, but wow, what's going on? What's going on? Why am I now leaning toward the possibility of actually believing? But I believe it's just a matter of time before the ones who don't believe get to experience it and then really have a choice. Okay, is this really a blessing or not? Am I really worth receiving this or not? And is there really God or not? And I like those moments because when I engage in conversations like that, without forcing anything down people's throats, it's just listen. Then we exchange and they're like, okay, I'll think about that. That's good enough.
Speaking of idol kids, you've also worked with RJ and then other young artists like SB19, Beanie. So how important is it for you to pass on your musicality and your ideas, your artistry to younger musicians, younger generation?
There are only a few things that I can really pass on to them because creatively, they're really amazing artists. When you say SB19 and Beanie, sila yung headlights ng kotse of OPM. You know, it's like it's a beautiful vehicle and they're the headlights. And where is music going? You just follow where that light's pointing and you watch. That's where we're all gonna go. But what I teach them are the things that are not, may not necessarily have to do with being creative. More, I think it's more on being passionate about what you do, compassionate toward the people you perform for, being committed to the calling that you have, being excellent more than being perfect. And these are the things that I even spoke with SB19 when I guested in their podcast. I just sat there and we just started talking, and then just all these things just kept flying around, all of these I don't know, I won't say lessons, but yeah, I can say lessons that I've learned, you know, because of the life that I've lived. And how nice it is when you have people who care enough to listen, especially people that age, when they already have things, you know, down. But when they're hungry to know a little more, it says a lot about the kind of artists that they really are. So, like with RJ, you know, to do this with RJ, nakikinig yan eh. You know, and he may not agree all the time to, let's say, what Genesis wants him to do. But the fact that he's listening and he goes, yeah, okay, that's okay. This one I'd like to do. This one. It shows that he's serious about what he wants to do. And I don't mind sitting down with these artists again and again and again. Beanie, man, I'm so happy for them with their world tour. I can't wait for them to get back. I know I'm gonna bump into them again, and the first thing I'm gonna do when I see them is, wow, ano naman naalala niyo pa ako? Na I joke with them that way. Yes, Sir Gary naman. But yeah, sila Joanna, sila Aya, Mika, and all of them are really very dear to me because I saw where they started, and they will make mistakes every once in a while. But if the mistakes can help them, it can actually stand as a blessing also, because they might learn from the mistakes and become better people that they're really meant to be. Then if they don't learn, then that will become a regret. But if you learn from something, then you don't regret. You shouldn't.
Sir, mahirap ba mag-create ngayon ng hit song? Or may formula ba ngayon?
Nowadays, hindi na eh. Dati kasi meron eh. Dapat katunog ganito. Dapat ang tunog niya ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. Dati, I mean, back in the day, after Di Bala Na Lang came out, where's your next Di Bala Na Lang? Dapat yung tunog niya ganun. Hindi na ganun yun. Hindi na ganun ngayon. Kasi, I think today, the minds of the public, it's opened up so big that you don't have to look good. You don't have to look good. You just have to sound great. And you will build up a community and you will build up a following. Example given, during the time of Ben and Ben and all the other bands that were kind of building up their names, there was this little group called Over October that was just building up a small community. Josh is my nephew, so during the pandemic, nandun siya sa bahay. He was like, Tito, can I make you hear a new song? Listen to it. And hey, this is cool. And that's Over October. I said, when are you releasing these things? Yung ganon. But it took time, and then now they are who they are. Over October. There's really no formula now. I think the best formula would be, you be true to your craft. You be true to it. If this is what you want to put out because this is what your heart is saying, then you put this out. Don't put this out. Because then you're not giving people the entire picture. You're giving them a piece of you. And the other piece could be the most important piece that's missing. That because of somebody else's advice, no, dapat ganito yung tunog niya, dapat ganito yung itsura niyo, dapat ibahin yung lyrics. And I think it's been proven. Kasi grabe ang OPM ngayon. In fact, I've spoken to some movie people and they say, sana the movies could also follow suit. Ganun. And I said, yeah, that would be great.
Pero yung mga artists like Beanie, SB19, Ben and Ben, ano kaya para tagal sila? Parang ikaw naka 41 years. Sila, ano kaya?
That's a good question.
Longevity.
Kasi it gets
Sa
tiring.
iba na ngayon yung kumbaga yung landscape industry.
Yeah, it is. I would say that the landscape alone, whereas before it was Martin Rivera, Gary Valenciano, Randy Santiago, Raymond Lauchenko, maybe the likes of Louis Heredia, Kino, these are solo acts. Pero mabibilang mo. Now, I mean, you look at the Billboard, as I follow Billboard, there's artist upon artist, and when you listen to what they do, ang ganda ng mga tunog nila. Longevity, there's only one way to last long, and that's to take the journey. Go through the journey. My career wasn't always flying high. There was a time I was interviewed by Chris Aquino in her show, and she goes, so Gary, how do you feel na parang, this was in 1997, 1998. She goes, so Gary, how do you feel na parang now your career has parang plateaued? And I had no idea that my career had plateaued. And I said, oh really? Oh well, I mean, like you're not as seen as before, and you don't have songs that are out now. I said, and then while she was talking, it dawned upon me na parang, she's right. I really don't have anything out there. Until 2001, when I Will Be Here came out and Warriors a Child came out, then she interviewed me again. And the end of her interview was, so there mga kapamilya, you really can't put a good man down. And his career is, as you can see now, may mga ano na naman siya. So Gary, I'm so happy that you're finally back. She's like, okay, okay, game. And then it tuloy-tuloy na ulit. But there was a time, but sometimes artists need to go through that. Because the last thing you want is to be riding on the crest of the wave forever. Because the wave's gonna hit the shoreline and it's gone. How do you get yourself on another wave? You have to swim against the waves to catch a bigger one and then ride it again. Then it will crash again. And then you ride again, going back. And it's like that. Comes in seasons, comes in waves. And the thing is, when you have a good wave, you always leave an impression. When it subsides, when the wave subsides, people don't forget that one wave that came by. Ben and Ben. I mean, when they first came out, Eraserheads. Yeah, I mean, they came back and now they have this whole thing going, and they have a amazing documentary that I wish I got to see. I will in time. But it takes time in order for longevity to be part of your resume. Okay, I've lasted this long. It takes time. And with time comes blessings and blessings in disguise. Great moments and not so great moments. But it's all part of a bigger picture. And in that picture, is it fulfills the word longevity if you're willing to go through that journey.
Sir, yung sinasabi mong break sa January, applicable ba siya sa mga rising stars? Yung mental break? Or
Yes.
do they need it? Or
They do. They do need it. It's hard lang kasi as compared to our time, I could
Establish na po kasi. Parang
I'm sorry.
kung rising stars ka pa,
Then, nag-umpisa siya.
hinahabol mo.
no, when I was in the beginning, even I would get tired. In fact, that's the first time I ended up going to the hospital because I was traveling every single month. January I was in Hong Kong, February I was in Australia. There were even months where I would be in 2 places in 1 month. Dubai, and then I'd be to another place in Singapore, and then back to... So pagdating ng September, ng concert ko, hindi ko natapos yung concert. I mean, I was singing Di Na Natuto and I was holding my right lung kasi the doctor said, it has nothing to do with your diabetes, you're just over-fatigued. Take some time off. That was 1985. It's my first year in the industry. You know, and I was rising to fame, but wala, hindi talaga kaya. So I would advise, in order to recharge, do that. Nothing wrong. The people are not going to go anywhere. They'll be waiting for you to come up with something new. So, to stop, retreat, and then reassess, strategize, come up with your team. You don't work alone. Always work with your team. And then, okay, ready? Okay ka na? Okay ka na, Gary? Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, let's go. Then you start going for it.
Pero hindi ba sir parang mabilis kalimutan ngayon ng mga tao kapag nawala lang ng ilang taon? Parang
If-
ganun na po yung irang.
Yes, if you don't come up with anything, then people may forget you. But if you keep coming up with something good or collaborating with others, I don't think people will forget you. Now, of course, people will compare you and say, ay, mas magaling si ganito kasi may mas marami siyang ganyan. But again, you have to check why you are in the industry that you're in. Is it to be number one, or is it simply because you just want to share your music and come up with one after the other? Because once you start trying to be number one, then your whole intention is all different. I'll share with you an example. Many times people come to me and say, "Sir, we want to get you for a wedding. Ano po ang TF ninyo?" Or, "Sir, you know, we have a corporation and ganyan-ganyan. How much will you charge for like 3 songs?" The first thing I tell them is, I never think of how much I'm getting. Because once I do, my objective to perform may change. I might be telling Angeli, wait, so I'm gonna perform for the media. How much am I getting? I never like thinking that way. Gary, or I don't like anybody to come up to me, Gary, di ba you wanted to buy this keyboard? Yeah. But if you perform there, you'll be able to get that keyboard. Then the whole thing changes. I never want that. So with the young artists, they have to always check, why are you in the industry? Who are you doing it for? If you're in it just to ride the wave, it could be one wave and that's the end of you. But if you're okay with that, then don't complain. You know, when things no longer are simmering and are, you know, like in the frying pan, and on. But if your objective is to, ito yung blessing na binigay sa akin. Well, let's collaborate. Okay, I want to collaborate with the Juans. Uy, sige, let's try that. How about Lola Moore? Oh yan, we can collaborate with that also. Yeah, but mas ano sila dun eh. Okay. Ben and Ben, during the pandemic, I was able to collaborate with them. And then, recently, with SB19, with Stel and with Julian San Jose, and then with Beanie. So these are the things that I can look back and say, because I know, alam ko kung bakit nandirito, kung ba't ako narito. Now, if it's to be number one, at the age of 60, turning 61, parang, just enjoy the moment na lang.
Why the June 25 launch? Meron bang significance? Kasi nabanggit din kanina ni Angeli, ang ganda raw ng timing dahil mag-Joseph the Dreamer ulit kayo, and then nangyayari ngayon 6
Yeah.
Parang
You know,
ang ganda ng
what's
message.
happening kasi in Israel is going to affect us more than we know in the course of time, if it isn't already. Basta anything that has to do with Middle East, look, the gas prices, again, di ba? So it's timely that this song is out. It's timely that the video is going to come out, and it's timely that we're doing Joseph the Dreamer. And the story of Joseph itself is a blessing in disguise. Betrayed by his brothers, thrown down the well, picked up. They almost killed him, but they sold him as a slave. Told his father that he was dead, you know. And then they went through this whole turmoil. All the brothers of Joseph went through this turmoil. Meanwhile, Joseph is in jail for a crime that he did not commit. And he stays in jail for years, not knowing that it was all part of the build-up until he actually met Pharaoh, the leader of Egypt. And to make a long story short, Joseph becomes second in command to Pharaoh. And he's the one who sees his brothers coming and begging for food. And he's now torn between forgiving them or taking revenge. But he forgave them. And now you have all the tribes, Judah, Reuben, Simeon, Joseph. I mean, our history would have not been the same if Joseph did not do the right thing. But it came through tears, it came through storms and darkness and heaviness and uncertain moments in life. So yeah, the song is tamang-tama talaga.
Sir,
With everything that's been going on.
salamat. At last question.
Last, sir,
After this change
nag-start na
court
kayo
na,
mag-tape sa Idol Philippines. Nag-start na kayo mag-tape ng Idol.
Yeah, it's starting. Actually, we're gonna start showing on June 28 and 29. Yun lang masasabi ko. Ang gagaling.
Kumusta po katrabaho si JK?
It's the best. You know, we didn't know how it was going to end up. Eh. I don't know JK that well. All I remember was when he lost in The Voice. He would always call me Sir Martin. And I'd say, hi.
Sir Martin.
Sir Gary, ah. Oh nga pala, Sir Martin. You know, we were always just a running joke. But I haven't seen him since then. And the only time I heard about him more was when he worked with Paulo. Because Paulo directed his concert. And Paulo came to me and said, Dad, the guy's awesome. I mean, his songs may say things that you probably would never be able to do it. You know, collab together. But Dad, he's really all heart. That's really what he is. What you see is what you get. Okay, son, I'm working with him for Idol. Huh? You guys are working together? Paano? I said, I don't know. But let's see what happens. My gosh. Working with him, I don't know who else would have been able to play his role. You know, but I am enjoying every moment. In fact, we keep texting each other. Just the other day, he says, Tito, come to our gig naman eh. Why? What is it about? Oh, it's about losers. What do you mean it's about losers? Like me, di ba? I lost in The Voice. Or there's another one that I lost in ganito. Yeah, basta lahat kami losers that were coming out and were performing as winners. Parang ganun. I said, okay, sige, let's see. Where is it? I don't even remember the place, but it's in this little small joint. And I said, son, I call him son. I said, son, you just tell me, okay, once I'm open game. He wants to buy some equipment. So he's telling me, Tito, you know anybody in the States that, you know, with the best price? Sige, look. So we're exchanging all the time.
May radio version naman yung iba niyang kanta eh.
May?
May radio version.
I know! Ano ba kayo nung ano? Were you there when he sang it in the Dolphy Theater and he made people sing it? I was like, only this guy can get away with it.
Thank you.
Okay.
tayo.